independence, we must prove worthy of it.
Ben Kingsley really is one of Britain's great screen actors. He has run an extraordinary path of variety.
There's a healthy chunk of mystery yet to be solved.
Ben Kingsley is arguably the greatest actor in English-speaking films in the post-war era.
Herr Director, don't let things fall apart. I work too hard.
He started from absolutely nothing, and he made himself into a big name.
Then I'll handle it myself.
God, it's good to see you.
Ben Kingsley was born Krishna Pandit Banji on the 31st of December 1943 in Yorkshire.
He was the son of, how he described him, as an exiled GP. His father, who was Ruthmullah Banji, had come in from Zanzibar, where the family had owned a spice business. His mother was Anna. She was English, and she was a model and an actress, something of a beauty.
Kingsley has always remarked that his childhood wasn't a particularly happy one. His mother was a remote and fairly distant figure to him, and his father was a heavy drinker, possibly an alcoholic. So I don't think that Kingsley himself was, you know, a happy child.
He went to Manchester Grammar School and then to the De La Salle Academy at Salford. But he was determined to be an actor right from the start.
It's clear that he had a natural facility for it. I think he is one of those few people who was probably a natural-born actor.
He got very well known in rep in the north of England, really made his way up in a proper theater actor in those days. You go through rep, and because of that he got very well known and wound up in the West End, where he did Death of a Salesman, and it was great. He was very young, and to actually get that kind of kudos at that age, he must have been formidable.
By 1967 he joined the RSC, which he says was a life-changing experience, doing Shakespeare and learning the archetypes that are so well delivered by Shakespeare in such extraordinary text. He said gave him the grounding to create roles. He said that he could never have done the great epics to come and the great characters to come without having learnt, you know, what it is to be in Hamlet, and what it is to be in Macbeth, what it is to be in Othello.
Sir Ben Kingsley's first small role was in the 1972 action thriller Fear is the Key. He also appeared on television in Coronation Street and the legal drama Crown Court. However, theatre remained his first love.
I think he would say and admit that he was found for the great role to come because of the RSC and because of this Shakespearean background. And he was, in his heart and head at that point in time, a theatrical actor.
Having had another period in the theatre, he then landed the role of his career, playing Gandhi.
I want to welcome you all, every one of you. We have no secrets. Let us begin by being clear about General Smuts' new law. All Indians must now be fingerprinted, like criminals.
Gandhi was in preparation for years and years. In fact, Richard Attenborough said to me it took him 20 years to make Gandhi because he couldn't get the money for it. He thought it was too dangerous or too minority fare, that Gandhi wasn't well enough known.
Attenborough was planning, you know, a David Lean scale epic. You know, he was going to shoot on location in India. He was going to use the Indian nation in many respects as his backdrop. And that's people as well as location. But the search for the right actor had been going on for 20 years.
He finds his actor in Ben Kingsley. Ben does the whole thing. He loses weight, he becomes a vegetarian, he learns to weave, he does everything.
He was totally magnificent. It was a huge epic. It was an amazing undertaking for an actor with, let's face it, you know, very little screen experience. And he just flourished in the film.
You don't think we're just going to walk out of India?
Yes. In the end, you will walk out. Because 100,000 Englishmen simply cannot control 350 million Indians if those Indians refuse to cooperate. And that is what we intend to achieve. Peaceful, non-violent, non-cooperation. Till you yourself see the wisdom of leaving.
It is an amazing portrayal. And you would think in 1982 that a film like this wouldn't even be on the map, but his acting is awesome.
I met him on the set to do an interview with him in India. And he was completely immersed in the role. It was almost difficult to speak to him because he was Gandhi rather than Kingsley. And he found it very difficult to get out of the part. He was absolutely, totally immersed in the clothes Gandhi wore, the personality Gandhi had, and his achievements.
He says one of his great memories is the scene with Martin Sheen, as the American journalist who comes to talk to him. And he said that he just, you know, they were sitting on this kind of dock side in the blazing sunshine and the water, and he said, you know, we did take after take, and he said it was just so calming. And he said they forgot who they were. They were just having this conversation with one another, and as if the lines were just, you know, coming out of nowhere.
He bows to all and despises none. Like all other boys, I sang the words, not thinking what they meant or how they might be influencing me. I've traveled so far, and all I've done is come back home.
Wait a minute. You know what you're gonna do, don't you?
It would have been very uncivil of me to let you make such a long trip for nothing.
Richard Attenborough chose very wisely in having him because he was really at the center of a film. A great man personified by an actor, very difficult to do well, but I think Ben Kingsley really did it exceptionally well.
It is a masterful performance. You cannot, you know, you cannot take your eyes off him. And he does become that character. You know, we hadn't really seen Ben Kingsley in any way before that. And he just mesmerizes.
Not surprisingly, as a result of this extraordinary performance, he was showered with awards. He got the BAFTA, he got the Golden Globe, and he got the Oscar for Best Actor.
All that has happened is that I've grown a little thinner. Tomorrow, 5,000 Muslim students of all ages are marching here in Calcutta for peace, and 5,000 Hindu students are marching with them. I'm glad, but it will not be enough. Bapu, you are not so young anymore. Don't worry for me. I cannot watch the destruction of all that I've lived.
What are we gonna do?
You and I are not going to do anything. My marriage is finished. I've just got to make proper arrangements, that's all. How are the children?
You hadn't thought of telling Judith?
Telling Judith what? Oh, about you and Emma.
Everybody's throwing the parts at him because he's the big actor, and what he takes, which shows you what a genius he is, actually. He decides to do the film version of Harold Pinter's incredible play called Betrayal, a play that begins at the end and goes back to the beginning.
Without a clue, it's a really fun way of playing with the Sherlock Holmes mythology. And I think one that also shows that Ben Kingsley was willing to send himself up a little bit, you know, and worked very well as, you know, a straight man in a comedic environment. And of course, the great straight men are actually usually funnier than anyone else, because the funniness is kind of more inside and comes out more kind of naturally.
Didn't I say 7 o'clock?
Forgive me for being late. Gentlemen.
Is Mr. Holmes with you?
Well, actually, Lord Smithwick, a short time ago, I received a wire from Holmes instructing me to take down the details and begin the investigation without him, as it were.
What?
Believe it or not, I'm every bit Holmes's equal as a detective.
Dr. Watson.
Ha! I happen to know that you recently recovered from an illness, that you smoke a pipe, probably rosewood, and you spent time in China.
Sorry, Doctor. This is no time for parlor games.
I'm not playing
Doctor,
parlor games.
This is a matter for professionals.
You gotta help me. There's two big men. Holmes, you're back.
The setup is that in this universe, Dr. Watson is the brains, and he knows how to solve cases, and he's the man. And he's played by Ben Kingsley, the great intellectual Ben Kingsley, of course, played that role. But to create this kind of portrayal of himself, he's created this fictional character of Sherlock Holmes as his, who he is the companion to, and has hired an actor to play the role of Sherlock Holmes, his idiot actor played by Michael Caine.
What are you doing?
Thinking.
Right. I'm gonna think too. What should we think about, Watson?
Ben Kingsley walks this. It's just gorgeous. The accent, the attitude, the sort of outrage.
$3,900. We pay to hire 3 guys to take care of this problem. Can you tell me what we're doing here?
What am I gonna tell you, Charlie? His thinking process. The way I see it, Ben has only one problem, the same problem he's had since we were all kids together, sticking up crap games in the streets. He doesn't respect money.
Bugsy was Barry Levinson's film about Las Vegas and the corruption in Las Vegas. And he plays, Ben Kingsley plays Meyer Lansky, one of the big criminals of the time. He's interesting about the part. He says that Meyer Lansky was really the godfather of his little group of criminals. And he felt there was some kind of protective instinct in the man. He always felt that all the villains he played, and he played a good many villains in his career, had some good in them.
How much are we talking about, Ben?
$1 million.
What about the publicity? A place like this will cause a lot of talk. The spotlight will be on us every day.
Well, Ben's getting very famous out in California.
Famous isn't good, Ben. For Clark Gable, it's good. For Joe DiMaggio, it's good. Famous to you, it's not good.
What's fascinating already is how skilled Ben Kingsley is at moving between ethnicities, moving between kinds of roles, you know. Here's the guy who played Gandhi, and he was now playing Meyer Lansky, you know, this true historic character, a prime American gangster, much more of the kind of manipulator, kind of master of ceremonies kind of gangster than the kind of the fulsome Bugsy Siegel who's liable to shoot someone on the spot.
This is the first of Ben Kingsley's dark performances. So here's Beatty, kind of being sunshine and light and being very optimistic, and lurking in the back, which is really shocking for audiences at the time, was Ben Kingsley, evil personified, cold-blooded, nasty, ruthless.
He doesn't respect money. The truth is, he's not even interested in money for himself off this deal. He's interested in the idea.
What idea?
Building something. making something. Benny's a dreamer. Look it. I'm not excusing it. I'm explaining it. I'm a businessman. As far as I'm concerned, anything that broad took, Benny's got to make good on. She's his responsibility.
Well, what do you want to do about it, Maya? As a businessman.
Give him till Christmas when the hotel opens, see if it works. If it does, we'll all be happy. Let him pay off her debt.
Again, he is nominated, and he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Golden Globe, and the Oscar.
Pain. Try aspirin.
Cosmo.
I'm sorry if he hurt you.
He played with Robert Redford in Sneakers, which was a story of a group of computer hackers.
And we learn in sort of flashback that Robert Redford had been something of sort of a countercultural revolutionary, taking money from rich accounts and giving them to liberal causes, along with his cohort, Cohen, played by Ben Kingsley. And at some juncture, you know, Ben Kingsley had been caught and imprisoned, and Redford had gotten away. So we know kind of where we're going with who might be behind this new setup. Redford's character thought he was long dead, he'd died in jail, but it turns out, of course, that Ben Kingsley is back and hungering for revenge. And he set up this kind of trap, and it's how Robert Redford and his team sort of then get out of it.
You don't really know whether his motives are for the good or for the bad, or whether he wants just to make a load of money or whether he really does think that what he's doing is for the good of the world.
He gives the whole sort of plot a sense of purpose. You know, you understand where he's coming from, which makes it, you know, maybe more dynamic than it could have been. You know, it might have been just fun. I think he gives it a kick and turns it into something, you know, with a bit of character and a bit of personality to it as well.
Pause it.
People think a bank might be financially shaky.
Consequence. People start to withdraw their money.
Result, pretty soon it is financially shaky.
Conclusion. You can make banks fail.
I've already done that. Maybe you've read about a few. Think bigger.
Stock market?
Yes.
Currency market?
Yes.
Commodities market?
Yes.
Small countries?
I might even be able to crash the whole damn system. Destroy all records of ownership. Think of it, Marty. No more rich people, no more poor people. Everybody's the same. Isn't that what we said we always wanted?
Guys, you haven't gone crazy on me, have you?
Who else is going to change the world, Marty? Greenpeace? You have no idea what I want. What is chess, do you think? Those who play for fun are not at all. Dismiss it as a game. The ones who devote their lives to it, for the most part, insist that this is science. It's neither. Bobby Fischer got underneath it like no one before him and found at its center art. I've spent my life trying to play like him. Most of these guys have. But we're like forgers. We're competent fakes.
One of Kingsley's most sensitive and moving roles at this time was Searching for Bobby Fischer. He plays a man who is teaching a young boy who is a chess genius all the techniques.
The theme of the film is, it's like, if you are a genius, are you enforced to follow your genius? Must you, at the expense of your life? You know, what does it count to be so talented that you have to reject the other happiness, basically?
It's beautiful because it is a study in these two worlds, and which one of this worlds is this kid gonna choose, because he has the ability to do it. And Kingsley is very righteous and still and precise about, you have the talent, you can be a master.
It's to think of others as being beneath you, to be unworthy of being in the same room with you.
I don't feel that.
Well, you better start.
Okay.
Because if you don't think it's a part of winning, you're wrong. You have to have contempt for your opponents. You have to hate them.
But I don't.
They hate you.
This captures Kingsley's marvelous gift for getting the tenor of things right. You know, his character could be pretentious, and he kind of is pretentious, this great chess teacher. But he has to be the counterpoint. He has to be the pressure on the boy to be brilliant. So you can see how desperate he is for the boy to be, you know, it's the life he didn't get to lead. He wasn't quite good enough, you know, and that hunger comes out. And that's about, again, it's about acting, and it's about craft, and it's about intellect, and all those things I think that fire Kingsley along rise to the surface within the character.
Mr. President, these are a gift from the King of Togo. Fertility beads. And these are from the people of Burundi.
Ooh.
Sir.
Thank you. They know hats in Burundi. Look at this.
Mr. President, may I speak frankly with you?
Yes, please. Sit down. It's good to see you.
I know we haven't always gotten along. I know we've disagreed politically, and I suppose I know what you think of me personally. But I've always tried to respect the role you wanted me to play. When I've disagreed with this administration, I've kept it to myself.
Dave is a sort of comedy drama about the President of the United States who goes into a coma and is replaced by a doppelganger. Both of these people are played by Kevin Kline.
It's just a very charming fairy tale, really, set against this sort of well-worked political backdrop. You know, there's a whole series, I think, of great films through the 80s and 90s set in and around the White House that are just fun and quite enchanting.
All I've got is my integrity, Bill. Okay? That's all I have left. Now, I don't know why you turned your attack dogs on me.
They're not my attack dogs.
What?
I'll take care of this.
Aside from Gandhi, I think that the film Kingsley will be most remembered for is Schindler's List, in which he played Isaac Stern, who was Schindler's, basically, his accountant.
The standard SS rate for Jewish skilled laborers is 7 marks a day, 5 for unskilled and women. This is what you pay the Reich Economic Office. The Jews themselves receive nothing. The Poles, you pay wages. Generally, they get a little more. Are you listening?
What was that about the SS? The rate? What?
The Jewish worker's salary. You pay it directly to the SS, not to the worker. He gets nothing.
But it's less. It's less than what they would pay a Pole.
It's less.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Poles cost more.
In Schindler's List, one of the most famous films of all time by Steven Spielberg, about the man who saved hundreds of Jews from the gas chamber by employing them in his factory during the Nazi regime. In that film, Ben Kingsley is outstanding as the man who Schindler trusts above all others.
He's the man who's actually keeping the books properly. He's the one who's actually going to help him become rich. But when Stern is about to be taken to the concentration camp, that moment when Liam Neeson goes and pulls him off the train is absolutely crucial, and it's a wonderful moment for both of them.
Stern!
Herr Director.
My apologies.
Stop the train!
I apologize.
He's here! Stop the train!
Stop the train!
Sign here, initial there. Makes no difference to us, you understand? This one, that one. It's the inconvenience to the list. It's the paperwork.
I somehow left my work card at home. I tried to explain them. It was a mistake, but I'm sorry, it was stupid.
What if I got here 5 minutes later? Then where would I be?
Ben Kingsley's very quiet accountant really becomes his conscience and says the things that he should be saying inside of himself. So it's Liam Neeson's performance, which is operatic, balanced by this very tiny, modulated, quiet, beautifully paced performance of Ben Kingsley as the accountant. It's a great performance.
It's a phenomenal piece of measured performance from Kingsley, because there's every danger when you are in some sense, the principal Jewish character in the story, that you're too much the victim and it becomes too maudlin within that. You needed some kind of sense of person and culture and intelligence. And what comes across through Itzhak Stern is actually he's manipulating Schindler to a degree. You know, within his kind of terrified existence, he's playing upwards, you know, he's managing upwards. And I think Kingsley is just stunning in that role.
And make them on the 1st of each month, as opposed to individual payoffs to our SS contacts. The list is in the law drawer of my desk, which
First of month.
SS contacts list law drawer of my desk, which you handle as cash contributions to legitimate charities, sent of course through each official's office. Dealings with our black market contacts, listed as suppliers in the legitimate ledger, are more complicated. What do you mean, forget it? You can't forget it. You can't forget it.
It gives me a headache.
I think it's just a great example of how extraordinary an actor Kingsley is. You know, if you want to show to someone what he's capable of, you would say, show them Gandhi, and then I think you show them Schindler's List. It's the same guy, and just look what he's contributing.
I think this is an extremely important film, and everybody in it should be covered in glory, and it was one of Kingsley's finest moments.
I could have got more out. I could have got more. I don't know if I just... I could have got more.
Oscar, there are 1,100 people who are alive because of you. Look at them.
If I'd made more money. I threw away so much money. You have no idea. If I just...
There will be generations because of what you did.
Schindler's List itself was, of course, a massive success, despite the difficulties of being made, and probably is the defining film of its generation, no doubt about that.
In stark contrast, Sir Ben Kingsley's next role was a Cockney gangster in Sexy Beast.
Sir, I'm afraid you can't smoke.
What? What do you want?
Your cigarette. You have to put it out.
Cigarette? What? This? No, I'm not going to put it out.
You must.
What's that?
If you don't, we can't take off.
Well, that's your problem, isn't it? It's your move.
I'm afraid you
No,
can't...
I'm not going to pull it out. You're just going to have to wait till I've finished it. As simple as that.
Why don't you just put the cigarette out?
What's that, Sancho? You want me to cut your hands off, use it as an ashtray? Yeah, I'll put it out, providing you're prepared to let me stub it out on your eyeball. I'll put it out. Agreeable? No.
One of the most remarkable films Ben Kingsley ever made was Sexy Beast.
It is a masterpiece of just menace, utter menace.
Ben Kingsley plays Don Logan, who is a completely psychotic criminal who arrives at the Spanish villa of the former criminal, retired, so-called, Ray Winstone and his family, and basically terrorizes them all and terrorizes them into returning to do one last job.
But I'm just going to have to turn this opportunity down.
No, you're just going to have to turn this opportunity yes.
I'm not exactly match fit.
Seem all right to me.
No, not really, Don.
You look fine.
I'm not.
Do the job.
What?
Do the job.
No, Don.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I can't.
You can.
I can't.
You can.
Don, don't do this.
Do what?
Look.
What am I doing?
This.
This what?
A lesser actor would have been screaming all through this picture or giving you menace. Kingsley just very quietly suddenly turns, looks at the camera, and he explodes. But it's not a big explosion. It's the explosion of somebody who you turn your back and you realize he's put a knife in it, and he did it so fast you weren't even able to blink.
He was a kind of embodiment of rage and intensity, and he never let up. What's amazing about the performance of Kingsley as Don Logan was that, you know, it's never faltering. And that's the point of it in the film.
Somebody will call you, pick you up, probably Mike. What's that supposed to mean?
What?
That stupid nodding you're doing.
Shortly afterwards, Ben Kingsley becomes Sir Ben Kingsley, knighted by the Queen for services to the arts. And I, for one, am someone who would say that if anybody gets knighted for that, Ben Kingsley deserves it, and he agrees with me as well.
Nadir, of course, agreed that it was a wonderful idea to cut down the trees at our home on the Caspian, to have the sea spread before us, to reach infinity with our eyes, to see forever. But then our life went the way of the trees when the Ayatollahs ripped the soul out of our beautiful country.
House of Sand and Fog is essentially about a woman who has to give up the house she's lived in for years. And Ben Kingsley is the man who takes it over.
The family that buys this house are kind of Iranian exiles, led by Ben Kingsley's former Iranian colonel. Barani is his character. Very proud man. And they fall into a kind of conflict.
It is the conflict of two cultures, as well as two sets of people who are both deserving of better. And one of the reasons this film is so successful is because it does not take sides. You sympathize with both parties in this, although you realize that there is absolutely no way for it to be resolved happily.
Perhaps you did not come here to live like a gypsy, but I did not come here to work like an Arab, to be treated like an Arab. For 4 years, we have lived a life which you could not afford, and spent almost everything to marry Soraya with a good family. This apartment alone has cost us over $140,000 in rent. And what of Ismail's university education? Soon you will have nothing. And then you will see what it is like to walk in the shoes of the gypsies.
This is wonderful kind of fierceness that's brittle about the character that Ben Kingsley plays. Again, convincingly Iranian from the moment you see him, you don't doubt it. And it's that kind of sense of the fallen, general, that he's been up, you know, one time he was this kind of important figure. Now he's a broken man in some respects, and the thing he's holding on to is this house.
You think you can frighten me? You think you can frighten me with your stupid deputy coming here telling lies? What do you think I am? Tell me that. Am I stupid? You think I'm stupid? In my country, you'd not be worthy to raise your eyes to me or nothing. Nothing! And you can tell your deputy friend, your superior officers know everything. You tell him that this is our home.
Please.
Our home!
Velishkun, baste. Please stop. Please stop, Behrani.
He would get an Oscar nomination for it. It's a small film, but again, one of those fierce and smart studio films that maybe aren't made enough anymore.
I'm offering you a job you can feel good about. They'll offer you a job that'll likely get you killed. It's harder to live for your country than die for it. A car's expensive. My gift to you, no strings. You see, I'm betting murder isn't in you. Memorize this number, then flush the card. Call me any time. Tell them your name's John Brown, ask for Fergus, they'll find me.
How do I know that's not Bogderson?
Well, why would we bother? One phone call, I know where you are.
50 Dead Men Walking is a thriller set in Ireland during the Troubles. And Ben Kingsley plays Fergus, who is a police detective who draws in a young man to basically infiltrate the IRA and to send him back information. Very, very dangerous mission.
And you see, what he wanted was to capture a kind of reality. There's great danger with those kind of films is that, you know, they're archetypes and they're, you know, caricatures, the cop, you know, and I think he wanted to cut through with this and create a very real kind of, you know, career policeman.
Yeah, I was married to a nice girl once. She hung in there until I tried the alien abduction excuse.
What is this, a take care of your family speech?
Hey, you're so young, Martin. You make me envious. Life's full of mistakes. I lost my family making all the obvious ones. There, that was your speech.
Aye, very moving.
Kingsley has this morally questionable role to play. You know, what is the right thing to do to put this young man at risk for the greater good? You know, is that what you're going to do? So it has an interesting kind of exploration of what policing is in the context of Northern Ireland and the IRA.
Those paintings are quite accurate. Used to be the kind of patients we deal with here were shackled and left in their own filth. They were beaten, as if whipping them bloody would drive the psychosis out. We drove screws into their brains. We submerged them in icy water until they lost consciousness or even drowned.
And now?
We treat them, try to heal, try to cure. And if that fails, at least we provide them with a measure of comfort in their lives, calm.
Shutter Island is Scorsese having fun, I think. It's a really kind of cleverly mounted psychological thriller.
Shutter Island is about an investigation into a terrible prison in which the people, it's really a mental institute in which people are treated badly.
Nothing seems quite right. The doctors, one of whom is played by Ben Kingsley, through sort of puffs of pipe smoke and sort of great civility, but a certain sinister aura sort of emanates from him.
You said you had no idea what that second line could refer to, correct?
Who is 67? Yes, I'm afraid I still don't. None of us do.
Uh-huh. Nothing comes to mind. Nothing? Because I believe I just heard you say there are 24 patients in Ward C and 42 patients in Wards A and B, which means there's a total of, what, 66 patients at this facility?
That is correct, yes.
Well, it seems to me Rachel Solando is suggesting that you have a 67th patient, Doctor.
But I'm afraid we don't.
This is ridiculous. What are they doing here?
We're doing our goddamn job.
The whole film has a secret on which it rests, not just a twist in the plot. It's a secret that recalibrates how the whole film works.
Kingsley, as always, you know, he takes it doesn't matter how absurd and how extreme the elements of his character, or indeed the context of the film is. The one thing about Kingsley is he takes it seriously. And so you've got a sort of point of calm and order and credibility, even if everything around him is going mad, because he takes the stuff seriously. And that's one of his great gifts.
Got you at last. Not the first time you've stolen from me, is it, my little thief? Huh? Quick, empty your pockets.
You're hurting me.
Empty your pockets, or I'll call the station inspector. Do as I say. Oh, 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 oh. What are you doing with all these? And the other one.
There's nothing in it.
Where's the station inspector?
Hugo is Martin Scorsese's love letter to the birth of movies. It is really about himself, actually. It's a sort of metaphor for his own upbringing.
It's a story of this abandoned child who lives in the station in Paris, whose adventures take him into the sort of orbit of Georges Méliès, the great pioneer filmmaker, played by Ben Kingsley.
It's thought to be one of Scorsese's most personal films, because he loves the history of the cinema, and this is really, as much as anything, about the history of the cinema.
For Kingsley, it's a wonderful role. He's the great artist now. He's the great sort of cinemateur. He's the great kind of creator of a world. Kingsley's well cast, because what you want is that brain. You want that sense of, a master at his trade.
To see the way that he painstakingly made his films, which they do show, Scorsese shows in detail, and these are fantasies, these are really magical films, with, sort of hand tinting each frame, is an object lesson in how to create detail in a performance that is absolutely mesmerizing. There's nothing dull or boring or extraneous about Kingsley's performance in these.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing before you tonight because of one very brave young man who saw a broken machine, and against all odds, he fixed it. It was the kindest magic trick that ever I've seen.
It's a farewell party for old friends.
Sir Ben Kingsley is still working, still making great films and theater. And you never know what this guy's gonna do and what kind of picture he's gonna land in. He is a total one-off, and he's a genius.
He just has personality on the screen, and it's a powerful personality, and it can do almost anything. And when you look at him in Schindler's List, and in Sexy Beast, and in Gandhi, you realize that there's someone who can outstar most stars in the acting way.
Well, that's great. You should be proud of yourself.
Come and dream with me.